Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between. Hey, welcome back. It's another Tuesday, another strain review. And today we have a great strain provided from our friends at Fadeco with Story out in Arizona.
Yeah, Story Cannabis is found around the country, but it is the ones we got it from is Story down in Arizona.
Yeah, they have had some crazy things. Now, I will say there are a few things that I'm very frustrated with. I don't know what type of strain it is. Now, that's
Most of the time.
Right. Most of the time, or there's no information about it whatsoever.
Even on their site.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredibly small, so the only detailed breakdown that you can really find is the small amount of information that they provide on the packaging.
Yeah. And the strain today is Chemical Romance. This is a sativa dominant hybrid.
Yeah. With like creme brulee and love potion number 9.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know what? I love the smell. I'm really excited. This is the first time that I've been able to experience. Brandon, first time for you?
Oh, same. Yeah. I've never tried Chemical Romance strain before.
That's fantastic. I have been thinking about like what really defines a sativa. And we've been really diving deeper. I swear it's almost every week we dive deeper and deeper into the terpenes, which actually causes the effect that we want.
Yeah. Well, and the effects of like the sativa based ones, you're more focused, you're energized, you're, hopefully creative.
Yeah. And also looking at sativa strains that have certain amounts of limonene or linalool will actually start to tell you if you're going to have a racing heart. And that's, like alpha pinene, beta carotene, a lot of those ones will kind of raise your heart rate. At least they do for me. And I've been more focused on that. So with today's strain, I'm really curious on how this is going to affect, because the terpene profile is limonene, beta carotene, and beta myrcene.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is you don't see beta myrcene often. You see a lot of like beta carotene or like beta pinene even or alpha pinene, but the beta myrcene is one I don't see very often.
And you know quite a bit about terpenes on the beta myrcene or myrcene as a general. Like, what is that? That's typically associated with an indica, isn't it?
Yeah, usually it's in like indica dominant strains. You'll see that being one of the more predominant terpenes. So, but the beta myrcene is really interesting. So,
yeah, and we're going to be using vaporizers today. I'm using my Crafty Plus by Storz & Bickel.
I'm using the Mighty Plus by Storz & Bickel.
It is my favorite.
Obviously, Storz & Bickel are our favorite vaporizer brand.
It is pricey, but it's well worth it. It is so worth it. I tried this with my wife last night, and she doesn't like a lot of vaporizers. Sometimes too strong, not enough. But this one is great. Battery life, not super awesome on this one, but that is if you're smoking a lot. If you tend to use more than 3, maybe even 4 times a day, I would recommend the Plus.
Even this one, like I can use it and kill it in a day.
Yeah.
If I'm using it as my only thing I'm doing.
If I'm using constantly, so I recently got over a weird viral infection, but the only thing that kept me from losing my shit was smoking every day. And I was smoking a indica leaning dominant hybrid. And it really helped out with this ear pain that I was having. It was like a drummer in my ear.
Yeah.
But I found that using this during that time, I had to charge halfway through the day.
Wow.
Because you can adjust it. Things I love about yours, I mean, it is pricier, but I can adjust the temperature and the time range.
I love the portability of yours. Like, I love how small it is.
Right.
This isn't one I carry in my pocket. It's a beast. But I do, like, there's pros and cons to both, But the Storz & Bickel have been fantastic with it. I love, like, the feel of it. When it first showed up, it was kind of like, oh, man, this is massive. But the more that we've used it, the more I've grown to really love how easy it is to clean, how like clean it is. I feel like this is the lowest temperature of as far as like harshness on my throat for a vaporizer, at least for a portable one. So,
what do you rock at? I rock at 360.
365.
Okay.
Is where I'm at.
It's pretty much a standard range that it comes pre-programmed to, because it's one of the best ones.
I think mine was 356 is what it came at. Yeah. But I found that I liked it more at 365 than I have at 356. But I want to try this and have this kick in a little bit before I eat this like 50 milligram Cycling Frog brownie bite.
You know, Cycling Frog has been super awesome. We'll get more into that. Kind of want to go into right now what I'm tasting. So that's one of the reasons why we really like the Storz & Bickel, because the flavor profile, this is the only vaporizers that is medically approved as far as what we know in the literature we've been able to find. But right now, just going through it, you really get those, it's a very soft notes. It's not overly powerful, no cough. And some of these strains, you'll get a lot of cough, especially when it's really high in beta carotene.
Well, its known flavors are just like hops and pine. I'm not getting piney flavors really.
No, it's got the higher on the limonene. It's the highest. I'm not getting any citrus notes.
No, hoppy flavors is what it's saying. Like beer, hops. But I don't taste hoppy flavors either.
I don't get that at all.
Like it's a very mild.
It's almost a piss strain.
I feel like piss has more gassy tones though. Or ammonia. Like it's
more ammonia.
But
I get very mild ammonia in this. One thing to keep in mind too when you're using a vaporizer is that you don't want to try and use this like a McDonald's milkshake. Like you're not trying to
suck it down super hard.
Yeah, because you will get, especially within this one, you will get particulates in your mouth. Like you'll get pieces of bud in your mouth. Yeah. Because depending on the grinder that you use. And the grinder that I'm using, the Ornock, or I forgot the name, but
oh, the guy said, so someone actually went online and where we thought it was like Onorok, there's a G in there. So it's Ongrock or something like on their site. It's an actual G.
Oh.
Yeah.
Their branding is fucked then because
it's so hard to read it.
Yeah, I couldn't read it very well.
But the device, the piece itself is fantastic. It's the one that had that like wavy almost like a shell or something in it.
The really cool thing about it is when you grind it, the stems, if there's stems in there, it separates it and it's just up at the top.
Same with this. I feel like the stems are always left at the top just because of how it separates it. And I'm like, ooh, it's nice because I just pick out the stems. I'm like, okay.
That's the stash, right?
Yeah.
The stash is
very similar.
I gifted mine to a family member.
That's so kind of you.
I know, but I love the other one. I got a really great one, but I just want to give proper love to stash. And what is it? Oh, I can't even pronounce it.
It's like Ongrok, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we thought it was Onorok,
it's a Canadian brand.
Ongrok, I think. So
look down in the show notes.
Devices, though.
We'll have a link over there, but
yeah, that one's Jesse's favorite. The stash is my go-to.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Love the product.
I've been really into more flower lately. And the reasons why is and a lot of our audience will actually, they know this. If you use distillates too much, you start feeling like kind of like if you drink rock stars every day, at least a minimum of 3 a day. Like if you're drinking that much of it and then you get sick and then you come back and you try to do the same thing, you get sick as shit. Yeah. Yeah. This is exactly that. So you need a break from that. And that's why we really encouraged you to have a very broad and very open relationship with cannabis products. I was very adverse to waxes or dabs or whatever you call it, right? From shatter. It's all
concentrates.
All these concentrates and different forms they're in. It's just different forms and different potencies. But it is by far like one of my favorite go-tos. When I have it, I really enjoy it because it is a different experience on cannabis than anything else.
So let's talk about that real quick. When you're using like a concentrate, versus like a distillate, you go to the distillates, you're looking at the percentage of like 70 on the low end usually, up into the 90s, mid-high 90% THC in some of these distillates. But when you get a concentrate, like in a bucket that you're putting in like a dab rig or an e-rig, you're usually like 65 to 85%. You're not usually as high of a percentage of THC. Often I'm finding that I'm in like 60s or 70% in those ranges, the experience is better. The flavor's better.
Yeah.
It's not a distilled product. So it's...
And you can tell with the
experience is
terpenes,
better.
though, because
Yeah.
the terpene profiles are significantly different, where you get a lot of these distillates. Now, I'm not shitting on distillates. Distillates have their place. They're great. It's fast food. We've talked about it many times. Distillates are like fast food, greasy fast food. We've got this burrito chain in Utah called Beto's. I don't know if it's anywhere else. I love Beto's.
Or Mi Rancheritos, I think, depending on who owns it.
Yeah.
They
Well, it
divorced
has,
and
they've got like this, their prices have gone up, which thinking about the sizes though.
I mean, their burritos are massive.
Yeah, their burritos are massive. But anyways, like, it's a kind to that. It's not great for you. There's going to be a lot of processed shit in it. There's going to be artificial flavors. And that's exactly what they add in this. It's a lot of artificial shit. So it's being able to look at it going, okay, well, what's going to be the best? And you start stair-stepping it up. Now, the problem is that when you start stepping it up, you actually start increasing the price. And that's where it gets tricky. From dispos to even your plug, you may get concentrates really cheap. In Utah, it's $70 a gram, and that's on the cheap end.
At the pharmacies, yeah.
Yeah, at the pharmacies, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, that's so expensive.
So expensive.
For 1 gram of concentrate,
so
like, oh, shoot.
And so you look at that,
fast.
and then you look at flour. Flour is significantly cheaper, and you get more of the cannabinoids. And that's why using vaporizers, using really good vaporizers like this one, it's worthwhile for you to invest into it. But it's no hate on the more inexpensive ones. Go to our episode where we review vaporizers, and you'll be able to see a good price range. And I recommend it highly because they've done studies on this, and using a vaporizer is far healthier even than from smoking out of a bong.
Well, because you don't have the carcinogens. You're not actually burning
you're baking it.
That plant. Yeah.
How's that brownie?
Oh my gosh, dude. So for an edible, most of them have like a little bit of cannabis flavor.
Yeah.
I feel like this has none.
It's like the distillate flavor.
It's fantastic. It's 50 milligrams of THC and 100 milligrams of CBD in each brownie.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
That's a pretty good exchange. So you're not going to go, well, I mean, this would be your moderate to, it's only 50 milligrams. That's what this motherfucker just said.
For me, not for everyone at home.
It's like it's like your video that you did when you went to the float tank. I just had a 250 gram edible. I'm about to go into the float spa. See you guys later. And then everybody's just like, oh my God.
Like 250 milligrams.
What the fuck?
I wasn't even high.
And everybody's like, I always wondered about having a panic attack in space.
Right? Getting lost in space. Oh shit, I can't get out.
Oh man. No,
I can imagine.
No, I mean, I understand you've got an extremely high tolerance, but what's nice, going back to the strain, Chemical Romance, this is a very chatty strain. It's not a cottonmouth strain by any means. Mm-hmm. Very nice. And that goes to what, you're very deep in the paint cannabis enthusiast / scientists / historians out there would be like, well, of course, dumbass. When you have these certain terpene profiles, it's going to enhance this. What am I not getting based on looking at that? I'm not getting any heart palpitations.
Any panicky racing?
None.
Nice.
I feel really energetic. I feel a little bit in my eyes, top of my head, but it's very gentle on my head. I just
feel like almost a light dusting on the inside of most of my body.
Yeah,
not my bottom half.
No.
But like my waist up almost. Like,
yeah. That's crazy, right? I feel it like in my stomach area, like in my abdomen area.
But it's not the intensity that I feel of a lot of other strains, or like tightness or like pressure or like focused. It's literally just like I came inside of myself and went and blew smoke just kind of lightly everywhere. And I'm like, oh, cool, look, here I feel it.
Yeah, it's super good. I like it. Even Brandon always selects the type of color of light before every single episode. And this blue is perfect. This is a very cerebral high.
I was like, we're just going to change it up.
Yeah, but I mean, I like that because for right now, it's one of these strains that really give depth of color. Like you open it up. Now, remember, kids, that cannabis is a mild hallucinogen. Do not get that twisted. And so when you start experiencing, when you take too much, you start to green out. Green out usually means that you're in close to a very psychedelic experience.
Yeah.
And that includes the state of paranoia. That is an altered ego state, an altered mental state.
When you can see tracers or fractal patterns on crazy high doses, if you're not accustomed to that. So yeah, it can be incredibly terrifying, I'm sure, for that type of experience. But as we found, one of the best terpenes for that
is limonene.
And so introducing that, like even a shot of lemon juice or something, can really reduce those heart racing feelings and that anxiety that you get while your CBD kicks in and helps bring you to a nice even keel.
See, that's where I think about like our friend Kyle out there in Texas. And I know he still listens to the show, and he's had his struggles with cannabis. And I hope you're okay with me talking about you, bro, but I'm going to anyways. Because I think about that now, if I'm thinking about what do I really need out of this? Can I study more about these terpenes? We'll create another 101 of going in depth on just one terpene, and we'll go into like, what are some of the good things? What are some of the bad things? What are the things that couple really well to it? Including not only that, because you got to understand that what you put into your body food wise can greatly enhance your experience.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because I mean, people go, oh, if you eat mangoes, you'll get higher.
It's a small amount of myrcene.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not, and it'd have to be really dry.
Get a concentrated terpene of straight myrcene and put that on your flower.
Yeah,
you'll feel that way more than you will with
you remember that?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
No, that night I didn't even know where I was.
I got new weekend plans.
No, there you go, dude. There you go. You get blast off. But it's having a strain such as Chemical Romance, which mad thanks, thank Fadeco, thank you, Story.
Yeah. Mad love. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, super cool. If you have a Fadeco products near you, highly recommended. If you want information on it, I think now what you should be looking for, as opposed to just a sativa or indica, because now you can be a connoisseur by being able to just look at the terpene profiles and start being able to guess, going, you know what, it's probably more this. Because true dyed in the wool, never changed strains are extinct. There's no way.
From cultivar is always going to be different.
Exactly.
No two cultivars are going to be the same.
And what climate and what temperature and all of the elements.
So like the variations in terpene profiles, you're never going to have exact from one to the next to the next.
But
it's like there's always a variation.
I think that's where you can go, where I like the names because it helps me to identify a feeling for me. I take a subconscious state, an unconscious state, where I associate those now with how I will feel. So knowing if I can find information just on the bare minimum of a terpene profile, now knowing that I can be able to arm with. So, Kyle has a lot of problems with anxiety and things like that, right? That he talked about. And
he actually said that since he's been off cannabis for, what has it been, a couple months now,
he's feeling better.
He hasn't had anxiety. Like, it's not been anywhere near as bad.
Could you imagine if he was using more of a limonene-focused diet? Dude,
maybe.
That's a crazy
But at
idea.
the same time, like, because we've talked about it a little bit, him and I, and just, he's really explained a lot of, like, it's mindset. It's everything to do with it. And then realizing that he didn't actually need cannabis anymore. It wasn't actually helping him address the issues, or like things like that are it's very different. And that's okay at times that, maybe you don't utilize cannabis, or
I find that I use it more,
changes
more medicinally, and it varies. And it's just like anything else, because I was contemplating, because I kind of felt like I was using too much during that time. I mean, I was smoking 4 to 6 bowls a day of this.
You little rebel.
But it just seems like excessive for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm normally not a wake and baker.
When you don't have that, it's not something you've done for.
But now I find that I use cannabis in different ways to enhance my body, such as people using peptides or using hormone treatments. I find that I get a way better workout when I'm elevated. I feel like I get a better connection to that. I feel like it's improved. Like, I just got all my blood work done for being a diabetic, and besides my sugar levels, like, I'm doing great. And he asked, like, what's something that you're constantly doing? I'm like, I use cannabis daily. And he goes,
Yeah.
oh, like CBD. And I'm like, that too.
Yeah.
And he just goes, oh, really? And it turned into this conversation with my doctor about, the efficacy and the benefits of it in so many different ways.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I feel like those really need to happen, especially with some of these medical professionals, because while there are some who are educated in that area, there are many that aren't. And we're actually going to do a sesh with an audience member who is going to one of the few universities in the United States that has a cannabis program now.
Where's that?
Maryland, I believe. University of
That's what
Maryland, I think they said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting. But what I was learning recently was that there's only like those 4 or 5 schools around the nation that even mention the endocannabinoid system at all. Aside from that, most medical professionals are not taught anything about any of that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of so-called medical professionals who are very of an older idea of medicine and will not accept this as a viable solution because the DEA and the FDA don't, condone it.
Yeah.
But the medical studies are there to be able to how it helps you. That's why I look at this as essential as vitamins for people to take them. Do I need it? Can I live without it? Absolutely, I can live without it.
Yeah.
And
you don't always necessarily need every vitamin. It's what is your body deficient in? Because every human has endocannabinoids that naturally occur in their body, but with stress and anxiety and depression and not perfect appetites or not perfect stuff that we put into our body and ingest into it, and our sleep patterns aren't the best, we end up being not always in homeostasis. It's harder for our body to even return to that.
Right.
So these vitamins or cannabinoids phytocannabinoids you can introduce from a plant back into your body, like why not help it get to that?
Yeah, I don't know. I just treat it like the same. I think of how we talk about it as a medicine, and I think about like I don't take Tylenol or ibuprofen often, but I do take it when I need it because I know it will help me in that moment. And, people go, oh, it'll destroy this and that and the other thing in your body. Great, totally known. But those are people who are abusing the shit out of it. Like they're popping ibuprofen all day long. They don't even know when they took their last dose. They're just taking more because they don't want to feel the pain.
Taking 800 milligrams 2-3 times a day, that fucks up your body.
Well, it like today.
If that's regular, yeah.
This is also a pretty decent pain relieving. My right knee, don't have an ACL. It's constantly hurting when I put stress on it. But using this strain right now, I don't feel that pain in my knee at all. It's very light throughout my body right now, even though I've just, that was awesome too. Like I've only loaded up, what's that, like 2 pinches to fill this bowl. And I have been using the same bowl. I still have greens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like even if it's like a mustardy yellow, it's a very light hint of mustardy yellow. I can still smoke this same bowl for a while. That's why I love about vaporizers. And if you are so inclined to make your own edibles, you just keep that, always save it.
Like
and
this.
Yeah.
This is all just vaporized flower.
Yeah. And that'll turn, you get enough of that. You could make some killer, you could make a tincture. You can make edibles.
This is easily half an ounce of flower that's vaporized.
Dude, that's freaking awesome. So and so that's why I invest into a good vaporizer. And for those who are kind of getting this, I really like cannabis, but I don't like the panicky. It feels like I just can't really enjoy it. There are alternatives, and our friends at Cycling Frog, they are absolutely amazing. The taste is really good. We've actually been talking about doing a bunch of mixers and stuff like that for this. So we've got some plans to do some cool, fun marketing with them.
We were talking about this. We went to the gym before we went recording today.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how the grapefruit actually has a super mild flavor. This has been the most flavored one so far. like grapefruit. I love grapefruit. I just wish it had like a slight bit more grapefruit flavor to it.
You mean like a little bit of sweetness?
No, I love the tart. I love the tart of grapefruit. I will drink like straight grapefruit juice.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I
just
like
wish
the
it had a
grapefruit.
little bit more of that
I agree.
kick to it.
Yeah, just a little bit more of the bite.
But like we also said, I've been getting into like some of the water seltzer shit, the sparkling waters and that.
Welcome to being old.
Yeah. And I'm like, this just makes me think a lot of that.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, it's not as big of a deal maybe if it is flavored water.
Well, and in thinking about, chemical romance and going, Jess, you just smoked, quite a bit. And now you're going to have a 5 milligram THC, 10 milligrams CBD. This is a very mild. This is a very nice, chill, relax. This should be treated the same as you would with any type of like White Claw. Honestly, because this is going to give you about the same potency of alcohol.
Or if you're still new, only drink half of it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the good thing. It's not so sweet that you want to guzzle it. Because, the really sweet stuff, and it just hits you right, like Coca-Cola. Like, I haven't had a Coke in 3 years. And
good for you.
Yeah, but I think about it all the time. I fucking seriously do. Like, I think about, like, if I didn't get, like, a certain strain, like, I love Jack Herrera. I love Pineapple Express, especially if it's in a distillate that's tasty. Like, I just love that. But
I don't think I've craved a soda in, like, 5 years at least.
Oh, I still will have, like, a ginger ale now and then. And it's okay because it's the Coke. It's something in Coke that makes me think about it. Like, I will sniff it.
That's funny.
If my kid has it, and I should be like, no, you can't fucking drink that. What's wrong with you? But, they're their choice. They got their agency up to a certain point. But
I think these are great. These honestly. Are good.
Give them a shot.
Alicia has really liked these because she's like, after work or something and I'm stressed and I don't want to have a drink and I don't really want to smoke because it's, I don't want to get too high.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Well, they had sent us all that stuff. That that hat they sent.
Yeah.
I actually gave that to one of my wife's friends. She loves it, their product.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves it.
Oh, yeah.
She's got it in her fridge stocked. She actually won one of the contests.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know until well later. She goes, I'm like, I didn't know because I didn't choose it. Because we would put it through a filter and it picked names. But yeah, she absolutely loved it. And I said, my wife, I was like, hey, take this hat, give it to her. Cause she's like a huge fan. Yeah. And she always goes on cruises. Her and her husband go on cruises like 3 or 4 times a year. That's cool. Like it's a perfect party cruise hat. Super cool. Go check them out. They're awesome. See in the show notes down there.
And they've got all sorts of products, all sorts of drinks, these brownies.
Did we get a code from them yet?
Well, they had one that they were giving us for all of dry January. And all of our audience got 20% off through dry January.
Nice.
But now it's February. So we'll have to reach out and see if they've got something new for February.
Yeah.
But
yeah, totally. That's really good. I mean, adding it to what we've had already, kind of funny because of the CBD in it, it's kind of mellowed it out a little bit more. So that's kind of nice. This cuts it down just a little bit, just the CBD, because Chemical Romance doesn't have any CBD.
How are you feeling?
I feel great.
I feel very clear-headed.
Super clear.
But like, no pressure. Like I don't feel like pressure from the strain anywhere.
I feel a little bit, but I'm wearing a hat. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit more sensitive on my forehead just because of that. I really like this. This is a fantastic strain. Daytime, you could get work done on this, but I would use this as a play. This is Fuck It Fridays.
Like I still would get a lot of shit done. I feel with this, but it's
but I would like to go do something. Like,
it doesn't feel like a fuck it strain for me, but like I feel like I could go enjoy myself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, just enjoy yourself. Like I could play video games after this, like for hours.
I mean, Insurgency has now got the update for PS5, so it's got the haptic feedback and stuff. If you guys play,
it's throwing me off. It's so good, dude. It's such a fun game. Yeah, it's I really, really like this. If you are if you can get to Fadeco products, pick it up. This is fantastic. We actually had this in a pre-roll. Yeah. But
I don't like smoking joints in here, honestly.
No, I totally get. And it's more of an outdoor activity anyways, I feel, because it gets really cloudy.
Yeah, super smoky because it's constantly burning too.
Right. I mean, even though we got, our favorite bong, our
the jet systems.
That's always going to be in every show notes. It's permanent. That's the coolest fucking bong ever.
Smoothest hiss.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Go check them out.
But this is really, really good. I enjoy this. This is a very good strain. Makes me a little antsy.
Really?
Makes me want to go do things. Like I got to be, my mind's got to be
racy, antsy,
not at all.
Okay.
Just
feeling like
antsy,
you want to be doing something.
Yeah. Like, hey, you want to go.
Because it's like a good energized kind of, that would be dope.
Yeah. Let's get baked and let's get a whole bunch of people out. Let's get it together. We'll plan it. There's one of the biggest indoor
kart places here.
Yeah, here in Utah.
Fast ones, dude.
They're super fast. We need to do that. We need to get a party together. Don't worry, we'll let you pay. And no, but seriously, that'd be so cool. Get a bunch of people together here in Utah, fans of the show, get together, have a social meet and greet, and we go race those go-karts. That'd be dope.
That'd be so much fun.
That'd be dope.
I haven't done those in ages.
If we have a benefactor here in Utah that'd be willing to be able to help fund that'd be super cool. Reach out to us. But yeah, highly recommend this strain. Fantastic. High in limonene. That's your terpene profile. So look at that. You're going to be able to see that.
Beta-myrcene and
Beta-myrcene. Right. Well, and you think about it, the products that you're looking at, even if you're looking at distillates, it acts, if it doesn't say it on the cart, the packaging, or if I'm starting to see more bud tenders being a lot more educated on the terpenes, but they're few and far between. So, and I get it.
Yeah.
Why would you want to invest a lot if it's just a job to you? If it's a passion for you and you're like, I'm in the industry.
Well, because you genuinely care and have interest in the plant.
Right.
So then it's like, hey, most
and
of
you
those
get
are
discounts.
the ones. Yeah. Right.
That's a big thing.
I feel like that would be nice.
Dude, wouldn't that be great?
I'm sure. Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to work in a dispo like once a week.
I would be kind of cool, actually.
Wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah.
Like one of their high medical days.
Maybe we'd go talk to Dragonfly and see if we can come in one day a month or something. And
that would be awesome. That'd be so cool. Like we can't record in there. That was our first time going to a medical dispensary here after we got our cards. And that was crazy because it felt really cool though. It was by far one of my best experiences in a dispensary ever.
Really?
Yeah, because most of the dispensaries I got, I come and it's just the luck of the draw. The people either look incredibly high or very fucking bored. They're like,
usually I think the first one.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm fine with that.
It just depends.
I don't think there should be like a thing where there's like, hey, it's got to be high in limonene if you're going to work the counter. Because you can't get, if you get indica, they go.
Well, most of them aren't supposed to smoke before anyway.
I know.
Even in other states, I've gone, because I talk to them every time. I'm like, are you guys high? Like, no, we're not supposed to. Like, I'm like, I guess it's a business. If you know that some people might not focus well, or they might use a strain that doesn't, you want to.
Or get caught in a conversation and not actually sell anything.
But like you said, there's that company in California who has like cannabis you can use or mushrooms you can use at the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know of the productivity they can get out of their employees.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So
it's crazy. Let's go over there, take a cap.
Right. Microdose. I mean, I do it. You do it.
I do it.
But at the same time, where it's not for someone else's company.
Well, and every day, that's pretty intense.
I wouldn't microdose, but for someone who uses cannabis to function and do work, that would be incredibly beneficial.
Cannabis. Yeah, in their workplace. I think that's amazing because, especially if you're part of a creative agency.
Getting into the flow and the creative state. And
like if you can get a group of people together that are creatives and get them a little blazed, you're going to see some pretty cool shit come out of there.
Well, even if not, like if you can find strains that help you focus, I ran tech stuff and did IT stuff and was able to hyper focus while using cannabis. Like there are uses just depending on the terpenes and like what it is that it's doing to your body, how it's interacting with you that could be really good for most jobs.
Yeah.
Now there are a few that like even doing construction, there's certain levels of I need cannabis in my body for pain, but I don't want to be past here because I notice that there is even a momentary delay is terrible when doing things. Like I don't want to be using a saw and have a momentary delay, or like my motion feels like it's got a, any time delay. So there's always that, specific level of functionality or like perfect zone.
Yeah, I agree.
But how hard is that for many people to find?
I think it is pretty hard for them to find that. I mean, I'm thinking about right now, like how I feel, and I have altered the state I'm in where the drink has changed the focus. So that's kind of nice too. It's I'm a little bit more on the whoosh side, like how water splashing in a bathtub type feel.
Yeah.
I feel that now, and I didn't feel that before. And so I'm just like, oh, but it makes sense. I mean, it's a Delta 9 product, right?
Probably. I would guess.
Yeah, it's a Delta 9 product.
That all of these are the hemp derived.
But, I'm not a Delta 8 fan by any means. Not
hard
in the slightest. Yeah, big hard pass.
We have a dab rig that was sent out by a company called Cake, and they sent us this 2-gram cartridge. And that cartridge had a label that it said it was THCA. And I was like, oh, cool. So I took a couple hits and I'm like, this feels weird. So I go look up their COA and it says Delta 8. Like there's 0% Delta 9 THC. I'm like, it's just Delta 8. This is horrible. I don't want this.
Oh, he handed it to me. It tasted like a nicotine vape.
Well, and it really fucked the experience out.
Oh,
like it instantly
creepy.
Altered.
I just hated the feel.
And I was like, no, I got to take normal cannabis now. Like this feels dirty.
Yeah, seriously, I had to go smoke a bowl like almost immediately after to get rid of that feel.
Yeah, I don't like Delta 8.
It's so synthetic.
Let us know. Do you guys have Delta 8 products that you like?
Yeah.
What do you like about the experience of Delta 8? Because for Jesse, for me, it's not been an experience that we've found that we enjoy.
No, it's a very odd experience, and it's a very uncomfortable experience for me.
It feels manufactured.
Well, but I would say this though: if you have only experienced Delta 8, then you don't know any different.
Yeah,
and
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, and there's a different feel.
But if you're in a state that is selling Delta 8, what I would actually look for right now is the THCA. And then check their COA if you can to actually make sure that the cannabinoids that are THCA, because that's the same as cannabis in any other state. It's just the COA attached to it. Because everything you buy in California, Utah, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, like any of these states, it's all THCA until you light it, and then it drops off the acidic form, and that's what gets you high.
Yeah, that's THC.
Yeah, so it is the same stuff, potentially, as long as their COA can prove that. So I would look into that, check it out. And for all of our Patreon supporters,
hey,
we love you guys.
Yeah, we've seen that grow, but what's been really great is the interactions that we have with our Patreon members. And they are able to have in-depth conversations with us, giving suggestions. They've actually been very integral in being able to help shape the show. We listen to all of it.
Huge fucking shout out, because you have given us incredible insights that are invaluable to the show.
And we don't marry this as this is our baby and fuck you if you don't like it. We're creating this for you, and so we want to make sure that it's continuing to go into that right direction. So we're taking a lot of these criticisms and we're implementing that, and that's happened all from Patreon. So thank you so much for those who are a part of that. And also make sure that you go out and follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're trying to recover our Facebook.
We finally got over 100 followers on the new Facebook page.
100.
That first 100 is like the hardest to get through. And then once you get there, then it grows so much faster. Like I'm excited for this next stage now that we hit that finally. I was like, oh my gosh.
Because it was a lot of work and we got hacked and
I done fucked up. So
hey, you know what though? Accidents happen.
It happens,
Yeah, but we love you guys. And
thanks so much.
Well, we'll see you guys next show.